You know, this might be a hot take, but I think this is what the seals on the StreamDeck XL Plus are supposed to look like, unlike what you saw in the last video. Also, I completely forgot to show something on camera when I filmed the last video. I'm definitely going to get to that in this video, and there's a point of view about the factory seals I want to address that hasn't been brought up, and I'm only now realizing this point as I make this video. All that is later. By the way, if you're seeing this and you don't know what I'm referring to exactly, I'll link the first part of this saga, the video that is the first part of the saga, in the description below. On the front of this shipping box is a plastic envelope with customs information inside. This was what I was initially expecting when I received the first StreamDeck+XL. Also, for context, after the Reddit thread started getting traction, as I said in the initial video about this whole situation, Elgato shipped out this replacement. So let's actually open it and see if seals are broken or if there's any other weirdness. Now, before I open this, let me be really clear here. This changes nothing. My stance is still firm. If you buy a product that is listed as brand new, it should arrive brand new. No broken seals, no fingerprints. We're gonna get to that later because you won't believe one of the pictures I got sent this week. A brand new product should arrive factory fresh. Full stop. Now, if the seals were broken for the purposes of, say, I don't know, updating a firmware or something, that's not acceptable either. I'm specifically referring to this comment right here. Not saying this is the reason, but it happens in all electronics manufacturing occasionally. But especially with new products, an emergency firmware needs to be shipped, which can mean pulling back all warehouse stock for rework. Obviously, this should precipitate a new box / seals. It can also be for reasons of safety, through a design error, material issue, or manufacturing defect. Or they rerouted early review units to customer orders. I'm going to side with the end of this statement because, and I don't want to sound sarcastic to JL who posted this, but Elgato shouldn't have a shortage on stickers, especially during their recent wave of product launches. All right, let's check this unit. Like the last box I opened, it was also taped, so we really don't know anything until about right now. The first thing I want to point out, if you look inside the box, there's a piece of this bubble wrap padding. The original one didn't have any bubble wrap padding inside. It had a white sheet over it, so this is already different. Let's take this out, discard that. When I lifted the Stream Deck out of the packaging, out of the shipping box, what happened was the whole bottom actually came out and it hit the desk, like through the box, obviously. So I'm gonna do the same, and it did not fall. That is a promising sign. Let's remove the box. Here's the product. Let me lift the box, shake it. The bottom's not coming out, which tells me that the seals should be intact. So if we look at this one right here, that looks intact. That's fine. And if we look at the other side, same story. That looks intact. It is giving a little bit in terms of stress, but that is acceptable. So let's take our jerry rig everything knife. By the way, if you saw the first box, let's get the first box just for a second. So let's look at it. So you see right there, like at the top, I have to turn it so the light hits it on a certain angle. Right there, that's a knife mark. To the person who had this before and opened it, I'm hoping that when I do this, I don't leave a knife mark. And let's do this one very carefully. Maybe they had like a weird knife, I don't know, but here. I'm being super thorough about this because I want to make sure. Yeah, there's no knife mark. There's a little bit of like, oh, it's just shmoo from the sticker. But yeah, there's no mark there. Okay, cool. Let's open it up and see how this looks. I really wish that I had filmed the first unboxing. I just didn't think to hit record and put memory cards in and all that. All right, looking at the top, there's a clue already that this is brand new. These tabs were like bent, like they were like a little like kinked, and I noticed that. So if I pull this off, yep. Oh, and the packaging was a little bit on the inside, like here was a little bit like bent. So there's that. And then we have in this black cloth bag, we have the StreamDeck+XL, and then, like the other package, we have a packet that says genuine spare part. So now, oh, this is different. Obviously, it sits like this. This is the front of it. This is the bottom. And you'll notice this is folded up. It was not folded up cleanly on my other one. Before I do this, feel free to laugh at me all you want about the white glove treatment that you're about to witness. But if you continue to watch this video, I'm going to give some context about why I'm using these gloves, and it will all make sense. Let's take this and this, and that looks brand new. All right, our buttons look good. Again, I can't really test them without plugging it in, but it looks good. I don't see a cover on the screen, but I will say the knobs, they feel right, which is good to see. Our port looks clean, a little bit of dust, but I mean, that could happen in shipping. The bottom looks good for the most part. Speaking of the bottom, that's kind of a teaser for later. I'm just gonna put you up here for a moment. I'll explain the gloves later on, but I wanna get to some other points in the video before we get to why I am wearing these gloves, or wore these gloves to unbox it, and why I'm probably gonna put these gloves on again later, and how that all applies to this whole thing. I'd like to point out some other customers who had broken seals via various comments on the last video, Reddit comments from the thread I posted, and others I found around. If that went by too quick for you, it's because it's a lot. You can feel free to pause each one and read individually, but I'd like to highlight something I saw on my post on Reddit. Yoru Nyan Momo, nah, I'm not butchering this name, wrote, "Just got mine, same issue, cut stickers, oily ass fingerprints on it, like someone was eating Cheetos." Okay. I'd like to highlight something else, and it's not the only sentiment like this I got around the YouTube video and the Reddit post. If it wasn't broken, dirty, scratched, or in some way damaged, or its functionality, or its looks, I wouldn't care. I ordered a functional, like new piece of technology. If that's what I received, then it doesn't matter to me. You do you. If it's not right, straight up return it. One part I highly disagree with, no offense, but here's the thing. I didn't order something that was like new. I ordered a brand new product, and what's crazy is there is no used market for it yet. It just came out last week. The StreamDeck+XL is a new release from Elgato. Ordering something that is like new instantly indicates that the product is used. On their page, there was no indication of use. It's listed and assumed that it's brand new. Like the other comment I talked about before, the only part I'm going to co-sign is the end again. If I don't feel like it's right, then I'll return it. Back to the fingerprint comment. I got sent some higher res pictures, and look at this. Let's zoom in. That fingerprint, frankly, is disgusting. The shit looks like they were legit eating f***ing Cheetos. Holy hell, you sweaty ass gamers. Take a shower sometimes. But here, you know what? Let's just alarm everyone for a second. F it. Okay, let's get gross. I am not dissing any content creators when I make the following statement. And I hope to God that there isn't a creator out there that's like what I'm about to say. And also, I really hope this doesn't give anybody any stupid ideas. But in this scenario, what if, stay with me, and this is extreme, what if somebody f***ing peed on it? I am aware, like I just said, it's extreme. So first off, it's disgusting. This could end up in your house and touching you in some fashion. Okay, I know, that's way over the top. But let's really evaluate this. The factory seal on a product is an indicator that said product has not been tampered with. And now I want to pose a question nobody has considered, and that includes myself. If there's no record that my package arrived without a factory seal secured to the box that maintains that no tampering of the product occurred, and some product tampering did occur, technically, couldn't Elgato just deny you warranty within the warranty policy duration? And again, after you paid full price for what you believed was a brand new product. Not to say they would pull something like this, but a month or two ago, if you told me Elgato was sending out brand new released product that didn't have proper seals affixed to the packaging, I would have called you insane. If you told me that Bruce from Elgato customer service, hi again, Bruce. If you had told me that Bruce would have implied that I was lying in some capacity, or let's put this another way, if you had told me that Elgato customer service was lightly gaslighting me and my authentic complaint a month or two ago, again, your take would be insane to me. Transparency would have been key here. What if when you were placing your order, what if you were sent a follow-up email or prompted on the site during checkout, a message along the lines of, "We have an offer for you"? One of our content creator partners, who shall remain nameless, has one to offer, and the product is currently very close to you. We can direct that return shipment to you. However, be advised that the product was opened for promotional content creation. If you accept this one, we will honor the full extent of the factory warranty. If you prefer to receive a unit that was not open, your order may not arrive until X. I'd prefer personally if they offered some form of discount in this imaginary scenario, but let's say they didn't. At the very least, you know what you're getting. Transparency. Also, for obvious reasons, they wouldn't disclose the customer's identity or any personal information to the content creator, and vice versa. Not to mention, if the content creator damaged it, or say it got damaged in shipping between the two parties, it can be tracked a little bit easier. So my question is, if you were given that option, would you accept it? Let me know in the comments. I think it's utterly fascinating that people are defending this, accepting this type of behavior, and displaying even worse behavior in some of the narrative around this. I won't even speculate or even offer my opinion about some of you people.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Huh? Anyway, let's get to the thing I forgot to show in the last video. Now, what you're noticing now, and what you may have noticed earlier in the video, is me wearing a pair of white gloves. Now, a little content creator inside baseball. For those who don't know, I love shooting B-roll of new products. But in terms of YouTube, it doesn't help my audience retention. To be honest, it actually tends to hurt my audience retention because people skip the B-roll. But whatever, I like it. It looks cool. Anyway, I shoot in 6K so I can produce 4K videos and have some leeway to zoom in without a noticeable quality loss. Why am I telling you about this? You're probably asking yourself. The thing is, the biggest enemy to this filming practice, the shooting B-roll of new products, is dust, fingerprints, and scratches. See, I purchased the StreamDeck XL to upgrade part of my studio setup, and I thought I might as well review it because I do many unbiased reviews on the channel because I buy everything. With the exception of a couple of videos where I disclosed it, it's my money being spent. So I wear the gloves, jazz hands, have a friggin' air purifier, dryer sheets to pull dust away from products, and air guns to get rid of the dust in my B-roll set. I felt kind of robbed when I got this first StreamDeck XL, StreamDeck+XL, and couldn't do the review as fast as I could. I thought the YouTube algorithm would love me for putting it up so fast during the release cycle, but that didn't happen. So let's take a look at this factory fresh unit from Elgato versus the one I got last week, but I want to specifically point out the bottom of the device. This is what it's supposed to look like as a brand new unit. Not a scuff, not a scratch, maybe some dust from packaging or just from my surroundings. But all in all, it looks good and presents well on camera, especially when you get the product really close. However, look at the one I got last week. This is the condition it was in. This was on someone's desk and possibly dragged around. That's my speculation. Notice also there is a peel, which yes, I can peel off, but doesn't that suggest, and I'm only speculating, but doesn't that suggest that if it was sent to a creator for promotional material or a review, that they were fully instructed to not remove any peels? So how do I know this thing wasn't contaminated in some gross way like I described earlier? I don't. You can clean the surface to a degree, but the nastiness can still exist, and we don't all have special lights to check for organic matter on what is a synthetic device, like an electronic product, like a StreamDeck+XL. You know what? Let's respond to Troy. He did follow up to mention that my package was delivered and wanted a follow-up. Hello, Troy. I received the package and it seems brand new, no open seals, no signs of usage. I will proceed to package the original product up and send it back via the UPS label you sent over on Monday. In full transparency, there is a video going up about this new experience and my overall thoughts about the treatment of all of the customers who made mention of similar issues. Thanks. So now I get to ship this other one back, which could have been covered in pee. I get to send that back to Elgato on Monday. Fun. Am I happy that they made it right for me? Honestly, not really. It was entirely avoidable. And I worry that some of you are going to just accept this behavior and even defend them. Again, I have no control over that, but now I'm seeing this come into the comments as of late. At least you can get one. If you order one right now this second, you won't get it until it ships May 16th, 2026. I'm speculating as I am not sure how Elgato is handling customers who are reaching out about this, but assuming they're replacing products with factory fresh products like what happened to me, congratulations Elgato, you may have just manufactured a delay. And I don't normally ask this, but please share these videos around so that this brand doesn't potentially get away with framing this delay around demand. If there's a delay due to this type of practice, you're legitimately hurting your brand and your customer base's loyalty towards you, even if they deep down are pledging their undying love for you and your brand in their comments on the internet. Anyway, that's that. I don't want to make more videos about this topic because this whole thing, if I'm being honest, is dumb and is bordering on alleged sleazy brand behavior. So if you watch this and haven't seen the first video about this whole dilemma where I rage like crazy, I actually get really heated in that video. Click the video right here. But in the meantime, my name is Sean and this has been Tech Mixer and I'm out. Peace.